Roll out my top 10 Texas high school football games of the week. Starting with number 10, South Lake Carroll and Justin Northwest. This is one of two UIL matchups of unbeatens this week. Did you know that Justin Northwest is undefeated?
I did.
6-0 to start the
That
year.
rocks.
Our Bill Poe's a squad. And
I believe Powers will be at that game.
it's tonight.
Mm-hmm. They're
They're playing spectacular defense. That is the name of the game for them. Their defense has been rock solid to start the year. It helps that they've been able to run the ball, I think, pretty effectively with guys like Nathaniel Jean, their running back. This team, I think, is legit, but here is your big test. And suddenly you get an opportunity at home to defend Northwest ISD Stadium up against the state-ranked South Lake Carroll Dragons, who are also undefeated. And it's easy to see why. This team has been spectacular to start the year. I think that their quarterback, Angela Renda, has really grown into the role. And even with the loss of Riley Wormley, their star running back, one of their star running backs, Davis Penn has really picked up the pace and come up with a big way. I want to see how Northwest's defense handles Brock Boyd, the big target on the outside for South Lake Carroll. That's a big question in this one. And this is just a real, spotlight moment here for Justin Northwest. It's a program that is 6-0, and they should not apologize for it, but this is going to be their toughest game of the year so far by a factor of about 10. So, big game tonight in Justin. Number 9, Frisco, Emerson, and Lucas Lovejoy. You want to talk about two teams, two programs, I think, that are going in, that the trajectory is going in opposite ways. So, Lovejoy started off the year slow. They of course, Coach Todd Dodge takes over. They lose their opening week game at home on statewide television to Lubbock Cooper. That ends up, and then they lose to Highland Park. Now, both of those games have aged pretty well. Those two teams are combined 11-2 on the season. But they start those teams. But they have figured things out, and especially they have figured things out on the offensive side. Lovejoy has been lighting it up. It took a little bit of time, I think, to get the offense kind of humming, but their offense has been hitting on all cylinders recently, and a lot of it comes back to their quarterback, Jacob Janicek, and then they've got a ton of weapons on the outside, most notably Dalen McCutcheon, who just flipped from
to Texas.
Flipped from
Florida State.
That's right,
to
Florida
Texas.
State. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're the host of Art and Hustle. I should
defer to me. Just kidding. Defer to Powers.
They've got back-to-back win, or they had back-to-back wins separated by a bye over Melissa and Anna. That is really, really heady stuff. Now they take on an Emerson squad that I think we can say the trajectory is heading in a different way. Remember, this is a team that played in a state semifinal a year ago.
Yep.
They lose last week to Anna. They lost their district opener against Prosper Walnut Grove. That's the one that hurts. And I'm just here to tell you this. For Kendall Miller's Emerson Ball Club, you better win this game. Because if you lose this game, you have 3 district losses, and you still have to play Melissa next week. So
That's a tough district.
They could go from state semifinalist to missing the playoffs if they do not win this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be up to them, I think, to really figure things out on the offensive side, which has been a little bit up and down for them. That's a huge question mark for them, and I am fascinated by this. Frisco Emerson taking on Lovejoy. Number 8. Willis and Conroe. This is the other matchup of unbeatens in UIL Texas high school football this week. And again, kind of following the same thing with Justin Northwest, you have a team in Conroe that is undefeated, should not apologize for being undefeated, and also, who have you played? That's my big question for you, is who have you played? For Conroe, this is going to be their toughest test of the date. They do have wins over Conroe, Grand Oaks, and College Park, but those are the only 2 wins over teams with winning records. They are 4-3. This is Willis, and Willis is going to come with the heat. Their quarterback, Jack Emerson, has been terrific. Jermaine Bishop,
He's a freak.
I can't say enough about him. I said this on Tep and Step this week, which you can watch tomorrow on Tep on right wherever you're watching this. I think he's the Texas high school football Travis Hunter.
You're completely right about that.
Playing both ways and being a dominant force on both sides of the ball. He is so fun to watch. Can Conroe, whose defense has been rock solid all year long, giving up just 13 points a game, can they contain the Willis offense? That's the real question in this one. Matchup of unbeatens down there in Conroe.
And you can watch it on Texan Live.
To quote,
Live on Texan Live.
Thank you. To quote Via Moreno. Number 7. Let's go a little off the board. Ira Ann and Wink. two teams that I don't know if we've talked a ton about, but I think we should be paying attention to. I'll tell you this about Wink. The computer loves Wink. The computer has Wink as the second-ranked team in 2A Division II right now. Their one loss in the year, they lost their opener to Lubbock Christian. That's a good private school. But since then, they have been rolling teams. And for all the talk we had about how were they going to replace Cannon Gibson at the quarterback spot, they have not replaced him with one guy. What they've done is they've kind of pieced it all together and become, I think, a more balanced and more widely threatening offense. Now, make no mistake, they've got a bell cow, and it's Kamid Fasciani, their outstanding running back. He's a 1,300-yard rusher already. But they can throw the ball as well with Lane Lesby, et cetera. Well, here comes quietly undefeated Ira Ann at 6-0 to start the season. And the name of the game for them, I think, has been on the defensive side. Their defense has been rock solid. And furthermore, what I like about this Ira Ann team is that they can beat you through the air. I really love this quarterback, Prather Schneeman. Their junior has been terrific for them. He's thrown for 19 touchdowns against just 4 interceptions, and they have a ton of weapons on the outside, most notably Chris Quintero. I think it's interesting because I think this game could end up being a bit of a shootout because both these offenses are so high-powered. Ira Ann and Wink is a game I'm keeping my eye on in 2A Division II, and major playoff implications as well in District 4 2A Division II. Number 6, Quero and Sinton. Yeah, this is great stuff.
Live on Texan Live.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a spotlight game for us.
It is a spotlight game.
So, for Quero, it does feel like they've gotten their wheels back on, okay? Especially on the offensive side. I think they're getting more consistent quarterback play. They've got a terrific wide receiver on the outside that I think has an opportunity to Walker Dietz, who's been really good for them. But, yeah, they've been getting more consistent quarterback play. My issue for them is on the defensive side, which continues to kind of get torched. Now, it's been better of late. They hold Harlingen to 14. They hold Rockport Fulton 14. But before that, they were giving up consistently in the 40s and 50s and 60s. Has the defense taken that step? We will find out as they go on the road to take on Sinton. Sinton, I think if they win this game, I think that they are a team that you can start talking about in that big picture, can they win Region 4 type thing. They would have one of the most impressive resumes in the state with wins over Alice, Gregory Portland, Corpus Christi Miller, and Cal Allen, and then Quero. Keep an eye on this one. I love this quarterback, Tristan Hansen. I think he's a dude. He is a total dude out there. A two-way star, or rather a dual-threat guy. And then Derek Garcia, the running back. Plus, Mike Troutman's team always going to play great defense. I think this is an opportunity. This is like the last hurdle for me for Sinton before really certifying them as one of the teams to be in Region 4 and a team that could challenge Wimberley in Region 4. Number 5, Coppell and Louisville.
Live on Texan Live.
COPPELL and Louisville Fighting Farmers. So Louisville is a team that I'm really interested in this year. I love what they've got on the offensive line. Michael Fasusi, their big offensive tackle. They are one of the biggest and best offensive lines in Texas. And they give their running back, Tanel Hill, room to operate as a result. Their defense is going to get a real test this week up against this Coppell offense led by Edward Griffin, Eddie G. And they've got tons of playmakers on the outside. Whose name I forget. Tucker Cusano, who's been terrific for them. Furthermore, they have an outstanding defense, I think, led by Weston Polk. For Louisville, at home, at Max Goldschmidt Stadium, an opportunity to knock off a state-ranked team and really make a statement. For Coppell, this does feel like there's other kind of challenges in that district, a decent district. But if you get past Denton Geyer and Louisville, you feel like you are the team to beat, certainly in that district. Keep an eye on this one. Coppell and Louisville, big game tomorrow night on Texan Live. Number 4, Lake Travis and Dripping Springs. We'll talk about this in the picks a lot. This is the biggest game in Austin
Live
this week.
on Texan Live.
Live on Texan Live. Love the quarterback matchup in this one, in Maddox Marr there at Dripping Springs up against Chasten Didda, the Lake Travis quarterback. I love the running backs in this one. Jack Tyndall, the running back for Dripping Springs, and Van Hopping, the running back for Lake Travis. My big question in this one, there's 2 big questions. 1, can Dripping Springs' defense step up against what should be a pretty good passing attack from Lake Travis? And 2, can Lake Travis avoid looking ahead to next week against Westlake? Don't get caught looking, because that's a big question. Number 3. Dallas First Baptist and San Antonio Holy Cross. This is number 1 versus number 3 in our private school rankings. And this is a game that has the entire private school community buzzing about it. It is also a distinctly weird matchup. Okay? They're playing it in Robinson. Okay, so they're meeting halfway. Both of these teams are already in the thick of district play. Okay? Dallas First Baptist is in their TAPS Division 4, and San Antonio Holy Cross is TAPS Division 3. They are both undefeated. It's another match of unbeatens. They are both also 3-0 in district play, and now they're playing this random non-district game in the middle of district play. How do you adjust to that? Furthermore, I want to see what kind of show we can get from San Antonio Holy Cross's quarterback, who has been so terrific for them. This is a team that I'm really interested in Holy Cross. They are, I think when you take a look at what they've been able to do, especially on the offensive side, it gets you thinking okay, they are a team that could go out there and win the state championship in Division 3. I think they're 2 legit state championship contenders playing on a neutral site in the middle of October in the middle of district season. Fascinating ball game here. I'm interested in seeing how Dallas First Baptist and San Antonio Holy Cross match up. We're going to talk with the head coach at San Antonio Holy Cross, Coach Mike Harrison, coming up here in just a moment. Number 2, Falls City and Shiner. 2 teams that started a combined 0-5 that I think are still the regional favorites in Region 4 of 2A Division 2. Falls City has started making the entire plane out of Braylon Johnson, their quarterback, and that's a good move. Shiner's defense has been consistently excellent. Even when they started 0-3, their defense was great. They're losing 21-0, but they were all punching up. Shiner played Hallettsville. That's a 3A D1 team, okay? 2A Division 2 to 3A Division 1. That's like the equivalent of South Oak Cliff, 5A D2, playing Duncanville, the 6A D1 team. But Carson Schutte, their quarterback, has figured things out. I'm fascinated by this one because I think this could be the first of 2 meetings, and I'm very interested to see who takes pole position in Region 4 of 2A Division 2. And finally, number 1, Katie and Katie Jordan.
Woo!
Working
live on Texan Live.
The District 19 6A race really starts to take shape here. And Katie is back to doing their Katie thing after their loss to Atascocita. Tremaine Hill, their running back, Gunnar Nelson, their quarterback, and just a spectacular defense led by Jeremiah Smith. Jordan wants to play spoiler. Jordan's defense has been terrific. They've got Jimmy Alo-Suli. Oh my gosh.
I know it's
Jimmy Alo-Suilafu, I think.
Yes.
Sorry, Jimmy. You're an outstanding football player, and I'm excited to see what he does against his old team. He used to play at Katy, transferred over to Katy. Jordan has been hurt, but he's been terrific. The other thing in this one, can Katy keep the lid on Andrew Marsh, the big-time playmaker for out wide for Katy Jordan? Fascinating ball game. Katy has won 104 of their last 105 district games.
So crazy.
Can Jordan make it 104 out of 106? Fascinating game. You can watch it live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. And, of course, you can find complete coverage on TexasFootball.com. There it is, my top 10 Texas high school football games of the week.